start by calling your attention to a letter I sent to you last month in regard to a company called OMAC Wood Products. It's in OMAC, Washington, and Okanagan County. As you know, we've had the last 2 years record-setting catastrophic wildfires.
Yes.
It's had a tremendously negative impact on our communities. Yeah. This OMAC Wood Products company is one of the largest employers in this small community. I think over 185 people work at the mill, $60 million impact to the community. Unfortunately, they've announced recently that they plan to shut down at the end of February. People in the city of OMAC are working very, very hard to find someone to come in and take over the mill. One of the issues, though, is they don't have an operating permit. 2 years ago, EPA promised a rewrite of the permit that would more accurately reflect the operations at the plant. And I can tell you, without that permit, they're having a very difficult time finding anybody interested in reopening the plant. So if you could look into that, I would very much appreciate your attention.
I would be happy to do that.
I have a copy of that letter. It is submitted for the record, but I can give you another copy if you would like.
That would be great. Thank you.
So a couple of questions, Administrator. Section 303 of the Clean Water Act clearly gives the states the authority to develop water quality standards and then submit those plans to you to confirm that they comply with the CWA.
That's correct.
I don't think Section 303 gives EPA power, though, to establish those criteria for the state. And last year, EPA indicated it would reject the state of Washington's water quality standards on the basis of two things. Number one, that it doesn't account for the consumption of 175 grams of fish per day, which I might add is the equivalent of eating 38 cans of tuna a month. And number two, for people who actually consume that much fish, it doesn't account for the cancer risk level of 10 to the minus 6, or 1 in 1 million. So I'm concerned that your agency's proposed rule is significantly more stringent than required to protect human health. It is inconsistent with existing policy and could cost my state billions of dollars for compliance. Could you discuss for me just real briefly, I know we have a short amount of time,
Sure.
on how EPA arrived at these levels and explain why your agency is seeking to impose standards that far exceed your own water quality guidelines for states?
Well, I think I am very familiar with this issue in terms of work that's going on between the state of Washington and EPA, where the state of Washington has recently proposed water quality standards. We have been starting a process to do that ourselves. We're perfectly happy to defer to the state on their water quality standards, should those come out in a way that we think does two things, is safe for human health, as well as protect the tribal treaty rights, which we're obligated to protect under treaty law.
Okay. Well, let me follow up then real quickly. As for your proposed cancer risk level, in order to have a 10 to the minus 6,
Yes.
you would need to reduce some of the agents on EPA's toxic pollutant list to, now get this, less than the naturally occurring levels. It means that the river, as it flows naturally, would not meet the levels. A 2013 study conducted by Washington State industries, counties, and municipalities found that even the most advanced technology available, and with billions of dollars in upgraded resources, few facilities would be able to meet those standards. So my question is, where does EPA think it derives the authority or the power to tell states they have to meet these standards and that they have no part in formulating, and number two, are in no way grounded in sound science?
Well, we can certainly have this conversation because I know we're running out of time. But I will assure you that the region working on this, our Region 10, is in close contact with Washington and stakeholders in the business community there to understand how we can come to a conclusion, either through the state effort or our own, to be reasonable, rational, make sure we have standards that can be achieved, and that in no way take away the flexibility that states have in terms of how they achieve it.
I appreciate that answer. I do have more questions, but I'll have to submit them for the record. Again, thank you for being here.
Thank you.